All right, we're live.
We're live?
Yes, damn it, we're live.
Where exactly are we live?
On the ones and zeros.
I suppose that's as good a place as any.
I sure hope so. One 1002. Wow, that was fast. One 1000, two 1000, three 1000, four 1000. 4 seconds.
Checking out the lag of the day.
Facebook is like 1 second off. YouTube is 4. And of course, Twitch is instantaneous. All right. Uno momentos, poor favors.
I lost my favors on the floor, sir.
Damn it. Where the hell was that thing? But where did it go?
The world may never know.
Apparently. Fuck, I don't know. I saw this thing and now I can't find it. And I wanted to bring it up in the show. And now, of course, I can't find the damn thing.
Yeah.
Are you killing your cat?
She does that to herself.
Jeez, somebody, did you lock her in a room or something?
I locked her in her own brain.
Damn it. All right, seriously, what the shit? Maybe I hallucinated a news story. It's happened before. Oh, well, whatever. Let's get this party started off the right way.
All right.
Zelius, what is your beverage of choice?
I have in one hand. I have some 2-buck chuck Merlot, maybe, I don't even know. In the hand, I have the classic cranberry, 100% juice, no filler.
There was a, I know you never really got into the series because you don't like laugh tracks, but there's one episode of the IT Crowd where one of the guy nerds shows up and he brings a bottle of wine and it's white wine. And that's exactly what it is. It's a bottle of white wine. It says right there on the label, white wine.
Nice.
Like, so what would you like to have? Oh, I'd like to have red. Thank you.
It's all about the white blend and the red blend. That's all you need.
Yeah, so I've got the red wine. It's red. All right, folks, we're going to try this again. I survived last week, so we're going to do this again. Okay, here we go, Zelius. I'm going to pull it to the side so I can do this. And I'm going to take off my earphones too because the audio cable is like really taut. So I'm afraid if I throw this concoction back, I'm going to rip the headphones off. So
Perhaps you need a longer cable.
I do have a longer cable, but then it gets all this kind of like crazy static. So I need to find one that's like between the two sizes. But I'll figure it out. All right, here we go. And a one, and a two, and a three. Actually, let me move the headphones out of my lap.
Ye old tradition.
All right, here we go. Oh, yeah.
Do you feel glorious now?
Huh?
Do you feel glorious now?
Woo! I feel something. All right. You ready to do the shindig? Ladies and gentlemen.
I thought we'd already started. I'm so confused. I don't know where my seatbelt went.
Oh, snap. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start this party. Let's mute Zelius and then me, and then we will roll. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Yelter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Yo, 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 yo!
I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zelius.
How goes it, Mr. Good Ultra Confusion of the Charlie?
I'm not exactly sure.
You're not sure, but if you're not sure, then who exactly would know? Is there somebody I can call to be like, yeah, how is the Charlie doing? Because Charlie doesn't know how the Charlie doing.
All right, let me explain the Thursday Hangout, and then I'll give you the heads up. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a show, a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. Now, of course, if you haven't had your chance to add your question or your topic, you could do so at any time during the show by dropping it in the chat. Now, if we unfortunately run out of time and we do not cover your topic, that one will be pushed to the top of the list for the very next show. Also, that being said, if you have opinions or thoughts on any of the topics that we do bring up in the show, we highly recommend that you voice them in the chat so we can make you a part of the show.
We want you.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be totally honest with you. My brain is not all there today.
Did you forget it on the bed again?
No. So yesterday.
Did your child eat it?
No. Yesterday evening, I think. See, I've lost track of days. Yesterday evening, I got a phone call that that my grandfather passed. So I'm not 100% here right now.
Well, I'm sorry, yo. I will.
I would take a drink, but I already did.
Just one?
Before the show.
Ah, there you go.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into it. And the first thing is, I swear to God, there was a topic talking about something in New World that's pissing off a lot of people. But something about territories, but now I can't find the damn story anywhere.
Well, I mean, there's territories, and basically the deal with territories. So in most MMOs, well, actually, like every MMO I've played, is you might have territory, but it doesn't really necessarily affect a whole lot in terms of your actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing that territory can really affect is travel cost. And what that means is basically have this special currency called Azoth that you collect, which annoyingly caps at 1,000. And so what happens is when you do fast travel, you spend Azoth on to basically fast travel. And the key is when you travel, it's based on three things. One, distance. Two, total weight of your bags of what is currently on your person at the time. And then the third is territory standing. So the first one you have no control over. I mean, you're going someplace at a distance, you're going a distance. The second one, you can put stuff in your stash or warehouse. The one thing that ticks people off about that is, in theory, it probably should be based off of percentage of bag space and not total bag space, because it basically punishes you for having bigger bags. Is really what it does.
Hooray!
You're going to carry more stuff. I mean, we're talking like triple and quadruple the cost, not just a fraction, depending on how much you're carrying. It's a very significant cost. And then the third is territory standing. And so basically, if your company owns all the faction territory throughout the entire game of your server, your travel cost is going to be pretty cheap. But as other companies and other territories are owned by other factions, it's going to significantly increase your cost of travel.
Those bastards.
Now, the bigger bug right now is currently, if you put something for sale in the auction house and it sells, you don't get that money.
No.
Yeah, it's just a teensy tiny little bitty bug.
When there,
yeah.
What didn't we talk about? Was it New World last week where there was like a money exploit? Like if you did between realm financial transactions, you could like double your stuff.
Yeah, so some of those bugs coming out in the game. I mean, I think the money one had been there. It was just the exploit was found. But the auction house was definitely introduced by the most recent patch. Now, according to Amazon Game Services update, supposedly if you put it for if that sale, if you did not make money, or you did not get your money, I should say, then they'll have the logs of who did not get it, and you'll eventually get your money. So in theory, you'll end up with it. The problem with the auction house, though, is there's not really a good log. So keeping track of what you sold and how much you made in the auction house is miserable. Because you'll be in game and all of a sudden you'll see a little thing like you made 5 gold. It's like, huh? What? Where'd that come from? So yeah.
Apparently, I mean, this was a couple weeks ago, but apparently there was an exploit to gain territory.
Huh? I don't know that one.
Basically, let's see here. Something to do with falsely mass reporting opponents to get banned, which then I guess in turn, I guess because the territory you gain territory through like massive PvP battles.
I mean, I guess that's kind of any PvP game trying to game the social system. Yeah. The other one I've read about too is, so there's an ice gauntlet weapon, and basically you can spam a special certain attack, which basically crushes anybody's GPU and brings the game to a stutter standstill and can even crash a player out. So what companies will do is everybody equips that and uses that ability and basically crashes out anybody in PvP outside of themselves.
Those son of bitches.
Yeah. All's fair in love and PvP, right?
Any advantage you can get. Speaking of exploits and shit being uber duper bad, this one's not New World. Okay, we're gonna move on to another online game, and that of course is Destiny 2.
Oh yes.
And there is a min-max glitch that was kind of whispered about, but someone finally did the official post, and now everyone is going, holy shit, I gotta try this. And of course, Bungie's already come out and said, do not do this.
Oh, bad idea.
Or we will ban your ass. So here is, okay, I'm gonna try to, so basically what it does, it gives the player infinite orbs and a host of other advantages.
Nice.
I'm trying to see if I could find out exactly how it is. First of all, I'm not saying you should do this because, of course, you'll get your ass banned.
You're not advertising me going and
No.
glitching out the game, you bastard.
So basically, if you it's all about playing Destiny 2 on your PC in windowed mode and then holding your cursor over the minimize screen icon at the top right corner. When players hold it for at least 5 seconds, then release it, then hold it again to initiate some frame rate issues, it triggers a glitch.
Nice.
So if you do it right before popping a Titan's bubble, or Warlock's Well of Radiance, you'll spawn a shit ton of orbs.
Nice.
And of course, you could also use it to apparently you can also use the min-max glitch to extend countdown timers.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think there's like a difference between a game like New World where they're introducing game breaking bugs like you don't get money from the auction house, in a game like Destiny 2 where over time you're going to inevitably, unfortunately, get those kind of exploits. And I think gamers tend to have a little bit more, I feel like, grace or like forgiving of games that have kind of been out for a while already versus a brand new game. People seem much more likely to be like, "This is the worst game ever."
Well,
Even
I mean,
though in a way they're kind of the same type of bugs.
Right. Well, the thing is, once again, it's all about, is this an established franchise?
Yeah.
Because if it isn't, if it's supposed to be that shiny and new, it's going to be different, and then it comes out buggy as hell, Cyberpunk 2077, then shit's going to hit the fan a lot. So you know, like New World. Well, also, if you were expecting a huge patch to fix either Cyberpunk 2077 or Witcher 3, The Hunt, I think is the rest of it. Well, anyway, Witcher 3. They have announced that they're going to be pushing back the next major patches until next year. So, sorry. You have to continue to deal with your weird-ass issues, which, after playing the game, playing Cyberpunk 2077 all the way through and then writing the review, I have not been back to the game. I don't know if the glitches that I experienced are still there. I don't want to know. You know, I got my shit ton of hours out of the game, and I'm cool with that. I've moved.
What if they do like an expansion for it or a DLC? Would you be interested in coming back to the world?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I think I'm now enough removed that I don't think that I'll be like, oh man, I got to go back.
See, that was always my problem, like with the Mass Effect DLCs, or even back in the day, the Dragon Age DLCs. I felt like, you beat the campaign, and then 6 months later, it's like, oh, shiny new DLC. But then, kind of like you said, I'm far enough removed from it, where to me, a single player experience, once I've kind of beat that, I'm moving on to something else. And that's where, for me, DLCs for single, unless like I get the version that already has the DLC, okay, then I'll probably play it. But like if it's a version where I gotta wait for it because I bought it when it's due, I may never come back to it at that point.
Right. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, this is what Zealous is talking about is basically the Game of the Year edition, where they just kind of bundle all of the current DLCs and the game at a slightly lesser price to basically reinvigorate the gamer base. I will say that in my many years of gaming, I have rarely gone back to a game when new DLC has come out. I have to. Okay, let me preface that. If I finish a game and then like maybe a couple weeks later new DLC comes out, still fresh in my mind, sure. But if it's like 3, 4, 5 months or a year down the road, I'm not coming back. Because I've played a bajillion more games. So one, for those, games that require Twitch skills, I've lost that ability for playing that game because every single game has some mechanics that you got to get used to in order to feel comfortable in and to excel at. So like, Borderlands and all that stuff, any shooter, I'm probably not going to go back to it if a lot of DLC drops way after I've played. And
Yep.
then, of course, if you're talking about like games you put a bajillion out, like 80 hours, 70 hours in, and then a DLC comes out, I don't know, 4 or 5 months down the road, I'm not coming back to it because I probably grinded all those like 70, 80 hours, and now the story is completely out the window. And most games will not give you a previously on this game type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I know, because we've kind of mentioned that a couple of times about like the idea of almost, if you spend like a month away from the game, there's like a built-in recap system. I know there's a couple of games on the Switch, like Xenosaga Chronicles and Secret of Mana, where I played, probably 10 to 20 hours. But in those games, that's, as we know, for JRPGs, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I guess, at that stage of my life where I'm not really tend to investing more than like 30 hours in one gaming segment. That's why for me, like Scarlet
Nexus.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, Scarlet Nexus was like the perfect like size for me. Like it was just right. Versus something like Secret of Mana or Xenosaga, which goes on forever. So I know I'm going to take a break, but then it's so daunting to know to come back. They're like, man, it took me 30 hours just to figure out how to like get to the damn tutorial. I'm not going to remember how to play the game. So I think that's the struggle for me of some of those, bigger, heavier JRPGs is, do I even want to try coming back to them knowing I forgot most of what happened or how to play the game?
I'm there with you. I think that many, many years ago, I was super duper into JRPGs because I really wanted to get that full immersion experience. And I love games that allow me to grind so that I could be OP, which is overpowered, for the vast majority of the game.
Yep.
I do not like those games where once you've gone through an area, nothing spawns again. Bastards. I like to run up the score, okay? But the thing is, and like I said before, I put a shit ton of time in a game and then I'm not coming back to it. It's just, the facts. Which reminds me, I've got to write a review for Ni no Kuni 2 and also a game called Eastward, which somehow, by accident, I swear, by accident, I grinded through the entire game in like 2 days. Weird-ass game. Good game, but weird-ass game.
Is it a game you'd recommend? Good game?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's got RPG elements. It's a real-time action RPG, like pixel. I don't want to say like really pixelated, but it's got that more of that old school like Super Nintendo feel to it, and it's got like at least 30 hours worth of gameplay. So it's a very interesting story, and I want to say that people want to equate it to, I want to say Earthbound or something like that, but I never played that game or that series, so I can't relate to it. But all I could tell you is it was a good game. It was hard, and it had a bunch of weird shit in it, but I enjoyed it from start to finish and was happy with the ending I got.
Yay! Happy endings. That sometimes happens, right?
Speaking of happy endings, and this is for those out there who are current patrons on our Patreon, you'll be getting a link to the latest early playthrough of a game called Roki, which I was very happy to see the end of. It was a phenomenal game. I highly recommend it. For those who are not patrons, if you just, if you just subscribe for $1 a month, which is $12 a year, or the $5 a month, or $60 a year, you could have access to this, and you can enjoy, I think the grand total of the episodes was much, of course, it was much higher than the other game that I had, which I need to switch in just a second, or tomorrow. Let me just make sure here. I want to say that there was 26 episodes of the playthrough. So I mean, it had some weight to it, but it was great. It was also nerve-wrackingly emotional. I will tell you this. It is a story about a sister trying to find her brother who got abducted by some other world being. And that's all I'll tell you.
Yes, we cannot have any other giveaways. Otherwise,
Well, I mean, you could you can easily achieve, a little bit of the hint, wink, wink if you become a patron. Then you could just watch the playthrough.
The magic of
as soon as I actually hit publish, because for some reason, if all of your videos are in draft mode, and then you do like a mass select, and then you say make the visibility whatever, it just ignores it. You have to get it out of draft mode, and then you could do a mass selection of the visibility, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Make my life harder, damn it.
Is that what we live for around here at Ultra Confusion? How can we make the captain of the ship's life more difficult?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. That's my dream in life.
Okay, so let's talk about the next topic is all about Activision Blizzard. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Can I barf?
Preferably after the show, Zelius, if you could. So, as some of you may know, they did officially cancel the BlizzCon 2022, which of course would be happening next year, which I think they had was February. No. Any BlizzCon event takes every single one of us to make happen, an entire company effort, fueled by our desire to share what we create with the community we care about so much. At this time, we feel the energy it would take to put on a show like this is best directed towards supporting our teams and progressing development on our games and experiences. Additionally, we would also like to take the time to reimagine what a BlizzCon event of the future could look like. The first BlizzCon was held 16 years ago, and so much has changed in the time since, most notably the multiple ways in which players and communities can come together and feel like they are part of something bigger. Whatever the event looks like in the future, we also need to ensure that it feels as safe, welcoming, and inclusive as possible. We're committed to continually communicating with our players, and we see BlizzCon playing a big role in that going forward. We're excited about what we'll do with the event when we revisit it in the future. So, not really surprising. I mean, a lot of conventions are still gun shy on actually doing a convention. I know there's quite a few conventions out there that have done a virtual element to it, or just an entire virtual thing. But to be honest with you, and I've said this before, virtual convention versus the real convention, there is no comparison.
I agree.
The thing is, with all the shit that's happening in this world, there's so much shit every single day. I love going to a convention where I'm at the convention, where I can lock into the convention. I don't have to be like, oh, I'm at home. I have all this shit to do. By the way, there's a convention. I should probably check it out on Twitch or whatever, and then I forget about it. It doesn't. It's not to sound like a total asshole, but it's a lot easier to get out of family activities or obligations if you're physically at the convention.
No, I know what you mean. It's a different physical mindset when you're there versus, it's kind of like a lot of people who work from home. It's kind of the same idea. They say create a separate office environment, separate from your, for play area. I know obviously not everyone can do that because of space constraints, but if you can, they do that. And it's kind of the same idea, is to kind of separate where your mind's at, like in your work mode versus play mode or family mode. It's kind of the same idea where if a convention, like if you're at home, I mean, the reality is if you're home and you're trying to watch a convention, like anybody's kids, I get like, hey, let's go play outside. That's just kind of how it is. how people are. That's not that thing. That's just reality. So I agree that, being there does give a different. You're there. You can't be pulled away. So I do think there is a bit of legitimacy on conventions to going to it. Uh, but I also feel like, in a way, it's almost been a cop out in terms of really not trying for conventions and really trying, not just putting on like they normally do, like, hey, let's put up our tracks and just try to have people watch it, but
It's not
maybe
the
really
same.
trying to be creative. Like, that was the whole reason Facebook bought Oculus, was to try to do these type of things virtually. I feel like conventions haven't really also tried to really go all in on a virtual convention and be like, hey, let's really make this shit work and see. Maybe we got to be creative about it. Maybe we sponsor in cities, get togethers at bars for people to get together. Or maybe I don't know. I just feel like there's not really been a really big, let's really see how can we make this work and kick ass and go all in.
No, I
Uh,
mean that
versus
actually,
bring it all in.
in my opinion, that would actually be an interesting concept. You have a massive convention where you have, I don't want to say like everywhere, but like major city meetups to, so let's say it's you have a virtual PAX.
Yeah.
And so the main one's happening in Seattle, but they've also have these meetups in San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, wherever, where you have these designated areas where the locals can still hang out and get a little bit of that con experience. And then, of course, in the background, they could have the panel, certain tracks or whatever. And then also, another thing that I think would be phenomenal was that you could also have the local, uh, stores, retail, maybe set something up at those locations. The comic book stores and the collectors and the glass engravers and whatever, to allow for for there to be dealers. Because with not having a physical convention, if you think not being able to attend is a kick in the nuts, you got to think about those independent dealers who survive from convention to convention off the merchandise they sell.
Well, speaking of dealers, though, just look at Nuremberg Con. I know that's not what it's called. Um,
Nurburger Con Alliance, right?
Is that
They're
what
fun.
it's
Yeah.
like? I mean, you got this really small indie outfit, and they can throw freaking online convention. But you know what it is? It's the love and labor of those people who are running those tracks, being super involved on Discord. I mean, they're communicating, 24/7, getting people involved, being excited about it, instead of just being like, "Hey, we're doing a game Saturday at 7 o'clock. Come check us out."
Well, I think that it
And then that's
also,
the internet.
I think the other thing that benefits Nurburger Con, because they've done it now 2 times, or I should say, Craig has coordinated, and of course, Craig doesn't do it alone because he has a bunch of independent developers that
Oh
have
yeah,
pencil and paper tabletop games that are basically being GM'd, uh, game mastered, or story, whatever you want to say. Someone
yeah.
is basically holding the reins to control the story. And I think for that, it works perfectly. When you get, more general fandom, I think that's really when the virtual kind of breaks apart, because anyone who goes to a general convention, you have your specific likes and dislikes, the tracks you could be looking for and not, and of course you are going to run into like-minded individuals, and you may find out about additional stuff at the convention that you would have missed if not for this having this conversation with this person. So that interaction, I think, helps the in person. Now, that being said, I I would love to have an in person convention. I would love
Yeah.
to, but I want everyone to be safe.
You could go this weekend to AWA.
AWA is in person, and to be
Yeah.
honest with you, I hope everyone wears a hazmat suit over their cosplay. I'm sorry, but that
We were at I was at last weekend was the
shake it
St.
ease.
Music Festival.
How did that go?
It was good. They were actually, so in order to get in, um, you either had to the COVID vaccination card,
Mm-hmm.
and then the or a negative test, and you had to also then have your official ID to go with it. And they checked. Like I didn't even think about it. I just gave them my vaccine card. They're like, "Where's your ID?" Like
No,
they weren't letting anybody in without verifying both pieces of information independently.
they did
Uh,
that at the Masquerade as well when I
yeah.
went.
So I mean, it was good. It was the last band we saw. The Strokes were absolute. I mean, I know they're a big name band, but they were terrible. I mean, I'm pretty sure the lead singer was smashed or high or
Both.
something. It was bad. Rest of the shows were great. It was. It's one of those type of things where it's kind of funny. Where like the two, like they were the big one, and then Modest Mouse was the other big band. Modest Mouse music just doesn't really do it for me more than anything else. Um,
Do you remember the story for those out there who know of the band Modest Mouse, which I hope a lot of people do because they have
they're pretty good. They're a pretty
some
good
good bands.
sized band.
But apparently, at one of the concerts, the lead singer kind of lost his mind a little bit and like busted a glass bottle on stage, started like carving into his chest. Like, what the fuck? What are you on? And please keep it away from me.
But like a lot of probably concerts like that, like festivals,
Mm-hmm.
some of the most entertaining shows are bands you never heard of. And I feel like there's a little bit.
Because
It's
you
kind
don't
of like,
have any expectation.
yeah, well, it's kind of like the Strokes, right? Like I think it's also when some of those bands get too big for their britches and they feel like they can do whatever they want on stage, and they can just say screw it all and next weekend in Woodstock, Alaska. So who cares, right? Versus the one of my favorite band I saw there is a band called the Michiganders,
Mm-hmm.
and like they look like they're in high school still, but they crushed it. I mean, like in terms of crowd interaction, get everyone to sing and clap and all that. But like they did that, and it was just obviously they're trying to make a name for themselves. The other band we saw who you would recognize was OAR.
Good Lord.
Dude, they were rocking. They were fun. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Um, but it was good music. It was fun. It really didn't get like uncomfortably packed until like about 6 or 7 o'clock. Before that, you could easily spread out. Um, it's one of those where like you could go like to the front and be like sandwiched into like as a sardine, or just be in the back and be nice and socially distanced.
When I went to the concert at the Masquerade, I literally just kind of chilled by the bar area.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I could have gone like I could have kind of weaseled my way all the way to the stage if I really wanted to. But I was like, it's just for me, it was a small enough venue that I was like, I will keep my distance and still, scream all the lyrics till I can't say no more, and I was okay with that. Okay, so, um, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so we talked about BlizzCon being canceled, BlizzCon 2022 being canceled for the time being, and BlizzCon will come back in some sort of iteration. Also, one of the humongous things at Blizzard is that we have a new name for McCree, and that,
Yeah.
of course, is Cole Cassidy, which, wow, okay, that's okay. That's so ho-hum for me. I'm just like, wow. I mean, it's just, I feel like Cole Cassidy was that like walk-on punter at a college or something. I don't see badass 6 shooting bad guy.
I was gonna say like a minor character in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Like just a random like one-off character who probably gets shot by Clint Eastwood in the first scene because he walked in his way.
No. Clint Eastwood takes pity on him and shoots him in the leg, so they no longer has to be a gunman. A six
Gunslinger.
Yeah, gunslinger.
So tangentially related to Blizzard. So obviously one of the games that is in theory coming out is not Blizzard 4, Diablo 4 someday.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see to me because one of the other big action RPGs very much like a Diablo, is a game called Lost Ark. If you've not heard of it, it's actually been around
Is
since
it
like
ARK? Lost Ark
I
ARK?
actually don't
I
know.
think it is.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
ARK.
Yeah. Okay.
um, and the game's actually been around since like 2012 or so. I mean, it's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it's finally coming to open beta or private beta, some kind of beta, in the United States. And
2018.
next coming, I thought it was older than that for some reason.
It was fully released in Korea in 2018.
Okay.
So the first full release was 2018.
But it's finally coming. So March of 2022, it's coming to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because basically I've watched a couple of YouTube videos about it, and basically any reviewers played it are like, this is the ARPG to play. Like basically everybody's like, yep, once this comes out, Diablo is dead. Not that Diablo, it's not like World of Warcraft, right? I mean, that's the moneymaker.
Yeah.
I feel like Diablo's been on the decline anyway since Diablo 3 was released. Hasn't been ascending anyways. But everything I've read is basically, yep, play Lost Ark, don't even worry about Diablo.
So speaking of Diablo, you know that the team who's working on, I think it's whatever, the redo of Diablo 2,
Yep.
Vicarious Visions,
Yes.
they are getting a name change. And that name is, they're going to be completely like sucked into Blizzard. They are going to become just Blizzard. Vicarious Visions, the name will be no more, and they will just become Blizzard, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. They're going to get rid of all that it's actually Blizzard and replace it with things that they're going to rename as Blizzard.
You know, to me at least, it feels like dumb part about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all these sexual harassment stuff that came out about Blizzard, is you had Vicarious, who was doing the remake.
Yep.
And so, obviously, one of the discussions that came out of that was, is it morally okay to basically buy Diablo 2 because we all find sexual, etc., reprehensible?
Right.
And one of the overwhelming responses, which I was accepting of, was basically Vicarious was a separate company from Blizzard. So really, you're supporting Vicarious, not Blizzard. But in doing this, now you've basically eroded any ability to make that argument in the first place. I mean, I get it. You're a big conglomerate who's going to gobble up everything. But at the same time, you think like now would actually be a time when maybe having a few subsidiaries with different names, even if they are Blizzard and everything by name, might not be the worst thing.
See, but here's the problem. Here's the thing. To the average consumer, if they see Vicarious Vision versus Blizzard, they're going to go Blizzard every single time. So
Sure.
for the average consumer, that's what they're doing. Now, for us who actually know a thing or two, we're thinking, dear God, this is ridiculously retarded. Oh, and by the way, speaking of ex-Blizzard individuals, there was a bunch of individuals who left Blizzard who were part of World of Warcraft, and they have formed a new company. But there's one little caveat to that company. Would you like to take a guess, Zelius?
They're creating a new MMO from scratch.
No. Not well. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing, but the thing that has gotten everyone's attention is that they're creating a company called Notorious Studios, where currently all employees are male and the only female is a dog in the office. And they are stressing this point.
So
like, really?
Basically confirming what we already have come to find out about Blizzard.
Yup.
And what they were or were, I don't even know anymore.
I'm just like, seriously? Like this is your stamp of honor is that you've created a company where there can't be any sexual harassment unless it's bestiality. Like, what the?
You went there. Yeah. I mean, Blizzard's dying a slow and marketed death, basically. It's kind of how it feels.
Activision is strangling Blizzard to death. I
Yeah.
still think that if Activision and Blizzard had never done that merger, I think that Blizzard, in my honest opinion, would still be in a much better place. Now, I
It's
understand the financial security that, you know, coupling with something like an Activision or an EA or an Ubisoft, I'm sure that that's phenomenal, like monetarily. But I think that Blizzard has been strangled to death as a result.
or of course we also sit here and we're like, damn it, Activision, why don't you just let Blizzard be Blizzard, and they'll still make you buckets of billions of dollars. Unfortunately, no, that's not how the world works.
Activision needs the game now. No,
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, yeah, I know. It sucks. Um, yeah, there is no good outcome of this other than but at the same time, we are seeing like for me, the staple of action RPGs was always like the Diablo series. I even enjoyed Diablo 3 quite a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
But now you're seeing other companies like I played previously was Last Epoch a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You have oh my gosh, what's the really big Path of Exile?
Mm-hmm.
You have Lost Ark now coming to stateside. So on the MMO side, you have, I mean, really, Final Fantasy 14 is very much a World of Warcraft clone in terms of that style of combat and crafting, and yet basically by every
Bless you.
excuse me, video game review metric, it's a better game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like what Blizzard used to do so well, it's like, they're failing at that, but now other companies are stepping into that void, which is what you hope kind of happens, right? Somebody, starts sucking. Well, there's now a void for somebody else to fill for the gamers to enjoy.
See, and this is kind of the blessing of when you have a powerhouse studio who makes the uber awesome popular ARPG, which of course is action RPG, or JRPG, which is a Japanese RPG, which is more elongated, or your real-time strategy games or whatever. It's the genre, and you can and bunch of many different companies could come in with different takes on it and basically gain the crown. Whereas when you have a company like EA Sports who has the exclusive rights to a sports game and they start shitting all over everything, you don't have that company that could step up or challenge them for innovation because they've got the freaking contract.
It would be, yeah, that's actually a good point. It would almost be like if you had in some imaginary world, a parallel universe where, I mean, hypothetically, it could have happened if video game genres were copyrighted, right? I mean, think about it. In our very litigious copyrighted world, an alternative universe, genres are copyrighted by whoever invented them, right? And I know, obviously, World of Warcraft, we know, is not the first MMO,
Nope.
but imagine World of Warcraft or Blizzard had copyrighted the MMO genre.
Yeah.
It would always be the same, really, as what's happened with, I think to your point, like Madden football, is nobody can really innovate in that. So it just ends up being a giant pile of crap. And that's almost like what's happened with World of Warcraft. They just don't have the monopolistic platform of which to still rely on, versus like Madden does, so people can continue to buy it because there's no other alternative really. But at least with like an MMO, now we can go play something else like Final Fantasy 14 because your game became a piece of crap.
Right. No, I mean, and the fact of the matter is, I'm not saying that there's never been companies out there that have tried to make rival products against, like a Madden or whatever. But the problem is, without the license, you can't get the actual teams. And the vast majority of individuals who play sports games, they want to play as their favorite team. They don't want to play. Some people will like to create their own team, their own expansion team, but they want to play the other real teams. They don't want to play a bunch of mythological, randomly made teams. They want to fight against the 49ers or the Ravens, whatever.
So I'm trying to remember. So one of the games I loved was NFL Blitz.
Yes.
But I'm trying to remember, like, did they have?
It had the NFL license.
That's what I could not remember. Is did it have the NFL license or not? It was what I was trying to quickly find. I could not remember if it did or did not. Because I love that. I mean, that game was hell of fun. But it also gave enough, I think, of a spin on it. Like it was not your traditional, realistic version of football. It was like a fun, smash them up, go kill the quarterback type of game.
It was until 2005 when they lost the rights, and then they became Blitz the League, where they then had their, their random things. But before that point, they did have the license. So you had, I think it was like 5v5, and you could use like defensive tackles to basically butt pound someone to the ground. It was amazing.
But it created a interesting element in that genre, though, that people enjoyed, which seems to have now dried up and not exist anymore, because they've lost that, the monopoly is there basically now in terms of football. So, I mean, it's almost a perfect case study in terms of why do monopolies strangle innovation is really what it comes down to.
Because they like the monnaies.
Well, yeah, obviously, yes, the monopolistic company obviously loves their own monopoly because they just print money without having any cost.
Exactly. When you have no competition, all you got to do is put out a product and ta-da, money.
Ta-ching! Yes.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take a quick pause real quick and do friends of the show because these guys are amazing individuals that help us do this show and allow to exist every single day. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. If you'd like more information, go to indiecluster.com. That's INDIECLUSTER.com. Now, of course, the next organization we have to thank is the one and only Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Watt Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And to be totally honest with you, I feel like they usually do AEWA, but I don't think they're doing it this year.
I saw them posting about MomoCon hotel stuff recently.
Yeah, well, they're yeah.
So, right. But based off of that and not being AWA, that'd be my assumption.
Yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the last one we have to thank, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on the mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. If you want more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, since we did our friends of the show, I do have to do a quick, some Alta Confusion shout-outs, of course. This one is a little bit up in the air. But, ladies and gentlemen, for the 10th year straight, Alta Confusion will be participating in Extra Life. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare Atlanta our chosen hospital, as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. I'll give you an update on that real quick, but let me do the Patreon thing real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Altered Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a patron page. Patreon lets you, the fans, supporters, lovers, haters, monsters, warlocks, demons, undead, extraterrestrials, demigods, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. What this will give you is access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. And this will allow us a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger career. Now, of course, as I stated earlier in the show, there are two levels that you can subscribe at. The first one is the $1 level, which is $1 a month or $12 a year. And what that will get you is the early access to all the playthroughs and then any of the patron-only posts, which could involve some polls and some other information that's exclusive for people like you. And of course, then there's the $5 tier, which is $5 a month or $60 a year. And not only will you get all the stuff that I just previously mentioned, but you'll also gain your name or organization into the thank you section of every single Thursday night hangout. Now, to kind of go back on about the Extra Life thing. So Extra Life is going to happen November the 6th. Historically, Altered Confusion has done it 24-hour game-a-thon on November the 6th. This year, I may not be able to do that. I will do the 24-hour game-a-thon, but I may not be able to do it specifically on that day, and that's simply because I may be at my grandfather's funeral. So I will not be gaming.
It's appropriate to have your Switch like at the funeral. I'm just saying it's for the kids.
Exactly. But anyways, so
I tell you, like you're at the funeral, just point kids, man.
So the fact of the matter is, or the moral to the story, or I guess the conclusion of the story is, I will be doing my 24-hour game-a-thon. It just may not actually fall on the official day this year. So just a heads up.
I hear you, man.
Okay,
this will happen tonight.
No.
To start. Screw it.
So I just saw an interesting news article that just popped up, and it has to do with Zelius's new favorite game, if that is New World. And apparently there is an invincibility glitch that is causing quite the stir, which allows players to take 0 damage as long as they wish. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but apparently it's quite the thing.
I saw people chatting about that the other day in World Chat, and so the first thing it's the stereotypical, terribly stupid, toxic, dumb, obnoxious global chat like most MMOs. That's why some MMOs don't have chat, is because of games like this.
Yep.
But people did mention some stuff like about invulnerability glitches. I don't know that one. I know the Ice Glove one. I mentioned that one. But as far as the vulnerability, I don't know that one.
Apparently, it has something to do with the dodge roll.
Well, the big problem again with a game like this, with invulnerability, like it's one thing if it's against PvE, right?
Yep.
Okay, you invulnerability to boss, so you get maybe you're a little quicker than the other players. But life honestly goes on.
Right.
But a game like New World, where PvP has a material impact on your gameplay, kind of like we're talking earlier about even like travel cost and taxes, because you also get taxed based on who's in charge and things like that. Winning and losing PvP has a very direct effect on your gameplay experience. Even if you're not PvPing, the outcome of those still affect you in your gameplay.
Right.
So yeah, like figuring out, and I'm fully supportive of if a player partakes in those glitches, the ice glove or the invulnerability, the gold hack, get the freaking banhammer. Like you're done. Um,
Now I can understand. I understand. I can understand that if you do it once, maybe you did it by accident. But if
yeah.
you're constantly going, all of a sudden you're going through battle after battle after battle, and you're like Superman, or your bank is just like overflowing, or whatever, then yeah, ban the crap out of them.
Or okay, so what about this? So here's what I write on
Mm-hmm.
is, in the case of this, there's like 50 versus 50 PvP.
Yep.
So what if an entire guild to win that fight uses that exploit?
Ooh, ban just
'Cause
drop the entire guild.
I think that's more so what's happening. I mean, yes, I'm sure there's individuals who are abusing it, but from what I'm understanding, it's more so, groups of guilds or maybe like a select, contingent within there are doing this to then enable the entire guild or company, as it is in New World, to easily win that game or fight through, really judicious use of the exploit.
So now I definitely would have a problem with that. With if you and a large group are making a concerted effort to try to basically piggyback off a glitch to make you all powerful and supreme, that tells me what the hell you're doing, and that you should be in trouble, and you should get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
If it's like I said, if it's an individual thing, sure, maybe like one strike warning, but after that, ban hammer. But if like an entire team on a PvP battle all of a sudden tries to utilize an exploit, that entire guild, I would get rid of all the members that are currently. I would disband the guild and remove all the and then ban all the characters that are currently partaking in that battle.
Yeah, I like it. I think the reality is if, guilds or companies are known to do this and there's no repercussions for what they did, then if I'm in charge of the other company, I'm like, well, why the hell are we doing this?
Right. I mean, that's winner thoughts 101 is if they're cheating and they're not getting into trouble, well, what the shit?
I mean, it's just basic human psychology.
Everybody wants to be top dog. And if people are being top dog by cheating and doing dumbass shit and they're not getting, maybe they get a slight slap on the wrist or they don't get anything at all, everyone's going to want to do it. And then that's how you make something super duper toxic.
Well, and the tough part is, though, I mean, if you think of a lot, like if, I'm playing Charlie and he's cheating at a game, well, unfortunately.
Which I never would, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I don't cheat in games.
Nope, he's totally honest at all times.
Fine, I screen hacked, okay? Jesus Christ. I did that all the time at GoldenEye, okay? Damn it.
On an even playing field is I had to cheat. No different in MMO. Like, entire company is cheating, then what other choice do I kind of have to compete with them is to cheat?
Either join them or leave the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is unfortunate, but that's the reality.
Or cheat. Yep.
Yeah, that's no.
No. Are you telling me I shouldn't cheat?
I would hope that every individual wants to enjoy the game as it is intended. Now, of course, we've had this argument several times, and I'll bring it up again. If you utilize the exploits of a game in an online environment where you're basically interacting and affecting individuals around you, in my opinion, it's different than if you're utilizing glitches and crazy shit in a single player thing where you're basically, fucking your own account over or, I guess enhancing it. For me, like as soon as there is an effect outside of myself, then no. Now, of course, I'm not one who utilized a lot of bots or cheats in single player games, but I will say that there was this one uh, program that came out. I think it's around Diablo 2, or maybe it was Diablo 1, that basically you could create any item and then drop it into game so you could be like uber awesome.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
I want to call it, what was it called? Like it's not the Diablo Forge, but something close to that. I might actually have the disc. Well, no, I probably don't have the disc anymore. But yes, I utilized that.
I remember playing the original Diablo with all the gold dupes.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were, what was that, 6th, 7th grade in middle school, we just thought it was cool. Like, dude, we could duplicate gold. We just thought it was like a really neat to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a cool thing. It wasn't a must.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now is you feel that you have to utilize, if people are using, like, especially in an online environment, they're utilizing some kind of currency exploit, and they're not getting penalized for it, then you're like, well, what the shit? Yeah. They're basically able to deck out their entire armor set or whatever in about a fourth of the time that it takes me, because I'm actually grinding the correct way. The correct way. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay.
That's why kids should never cheat. And if they do, burn their eyeballs out. That'll teach them. Because then you'll see your friend, and you'll be like, dude, what happened to your eyes?
You're like, I cheated!
But, well, I'm not cheating. See?
Oh, boy. But that would open up a very, very scary can of uh-oh.
Or maybe it's a good Halloween costume. I don't know.
Oh, crap. I was going to say something. Now I can't remember what it is. Oh, okay.
Did the eyeballs scare you?
No.
No? Okay.
On Netflix, you can now watch the entire run of the original Cowboy Bebop, both subbed and dubbed. And this, of course, is in anticipation for the live-action Cowboy Bebop, which is coming next month. Just give me the fucking thing, man. I need to know.
Did you already watch it all today? The entire thing?
I didn't watch it all today, but I think I'm basically 3/4 of the way through. As soon as they released it on Netflix, I just binge watched. I love Cowboy Bebop.
How long is Cowboy Bebop?
26 episodes.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
There's only like one season?
Yeah, back in the day, lots of anime basically just had that 26 episode run. They didn't try to pull a One Piece, which is that, oh my God, I think One Piece episodes. I want to say they're close to 1,000. But let me double check here real quick here. They have shit. They are currently at okay, so that's 900. Are you shitting me? I'm sorry. They're at 999 episodes.
Jeez. Is it gonna be like a special party for 1,000 episodes?
I'm sure there will be. The thing is, back in the old day of anime, you had 26 episodes to tell an entire story. Some animes succeeded. Other animes made me want to punch them in the nuts repeatedly. Berserk.
But my nuts, don't crush them.
And then I saw the OVAs, and I'm like, all right, cool. They have this Age of the Egg, or Golden Egg Arch, or whatever, 1, 2, 3. I watched them. Okay, they didn't completely dick me over like the original run of the anime, which gave me like the main character in the way future. They took that part out and basically started in the past and built up to where the original anime left off. You're just like, son of a bitch. But anyways,
Makes me want to go rewatch Record of Lotus Wars. That was like my classic.
Which one?
The original.
Ah, very good. Very good.
That's the one you lent me years ago.
I gave them both to you.
Yeah, 4 to 5 disc, if I remember.
I think in total they were 4 to 5 discs, because I think the first one was 3 and the second one was 2.
Maybe.
I think.
I don't remember.
Or maybe the other way around. Anyways, Regular Lotus Wars was also phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cowboy Bebop, the live action, is coming soon, and I've watched the trailer, and I'm going to say that in the very small chunk that was basically displayed in the trailer, I think the guy who they selected as Jet looks like he can competently pull off Jet. He's African American, where Jet really wasn't African American in the anime, but I think that works. The female they picked for Faye Valentine looked like she could actually play Faye, and of course, the actor that they chose to play Ein is an actual corgi, which is what Ein is in the anime.
That would be awkward if they got like a Saint Bernard.
Well, I mean that's the thing, though. You know, it would be like what Transformers did, what Michael Bay did to Transformers, where Bumblebee is a fucking VW bug, not a what was it, Corvette or Charger, whatever the fuck it became.
I don't know. I don't think that's as extreme. I think the corgi to any other breed would have be as.
It's a black lab now.
What?
It's a black lab now.
Yeah, like that. I think that would have been a chihuahua because we want to be happy.
Yeah, no.
No. A pit bull, so it's nice and fierce.
No, it's got to be cute and cuddly, but obnoxious.
So Shih Tzu.
And handheld. November 19th is going to be the first episode. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I need to see this. I feel like all the individuals in the trailer gave me the good feels, except John Cho, who's playing Spike Spiegel. I need to actually see this to see if he can actually pull off Spike. Because I could feel, like I said, I could feel Faye. I could feel Jet. Of course, I could feel Ein. Do they have Ed? I'm just starting to think about it. Is Ed even in there? God, that'd be weird if they don't have Ed. But I'll find out.
I'm sure you will, sir.
Now, of course, for those who are interested, Ed and Cowboy Bebop. I'm going to say his full name just for you.
Is it a special name?
Oh, yeah. Edward Wong Hao Pepulu Tversky the Fourth.
That is quite the name, sir.
He gave it to him. She gave it to herself. Which, by the way, spoiler, if you haven't watched the anime, which I think we're outside of the spoiler thing, Ed is a girl. So
not to be confused with Edward.
Although she does go by Edward.
Ah, well.
What is exactly she? Yeah. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. Oh, Radical Ed is what they call. Radical Edward is what is his hacker name before they actually introduce him on the show.
Well, there you go. So,
okay. So, Zealous, you're playing New World. You play anything else?
That's currently my only game of choice at the moment, good sir, other than weird little iOS games.
I, of course, like I said, I played a game called Roki. I played all the way through it, recorded the playthrough, and if you are a patron, you get to see the early access of the playthrough, probably starting tomorrow. You'll have the entire slate of it. I've completed that game. I also completed a game called Game Deck. I actually completed it about 10 minutes before the show, it's another great game. I highly recommend. I've got a shit ton of reviews to write. That's all I have to say. I've got a ton of reviews to write. I also been playing a little bit of Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Prophecy.
Interesting.
And
How's that going?
it's an interesting game. I really fucking wish it's third person, like 3/4 view. I really wish I could just pull that camera down just a little bit so I could get a little bit of better view in front of me, because yeah, it's. I mean, I get to kill lots of bad guys. What's wrong
Well,
with that? So I'm enjoying that. The story, it's okay.
did they give you like actual lore information, or is it just like
No,
either?
I've actually got like I'm on a mission to try to figure out that, like, there's a rogue sect of Marines out there who have a tech priest that are lots of jargon, which is in Warhammer 40k. If you don't know Warhammer 40k, I'm basically speaking Greek to you. But there is an underlying story. Now, of course, there is a shit ton of side quests, which is just kind of like, they're bad guys that showed up here, kill them, or there's this one bad guy in this area, we have to get to him before he can escape, or there's a bunch of bad guys about to attack this area, defend it. Your usual. So, but yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have reached the end of our show.
No.
So, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it's been a pleasure giving everything our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Yes, I was a little trigger happy on hitting the outro, so my amen to that, brother, was partially as the credits were rolling. So hopefully you got to hear him while the music was playing. So my apologies on that one.
I heard you. That's all that matters.
Right, all right. But yes, I played a shit ton of a game called Game Deck, which here I'll give you the little no shit, I didn't mean to actually start the game. God damn it.
Nice.
Wow, Charlie, you're doing great today. I meant to hit library. All right, Game Deck. Game Deck is a single-player cyberpunk isometric RPG. You are a game detective who solves crimes inside virtual worlds. Use your wits to gather info from your witnesses and suspects, getting to the bottom of deceptive schemes. The game continually adapts to your decisions and never judges. So even if you get, if your deduction is incorrect, it'll still allow you to go with that deduction. But there were certain actions, there's certain choices that will gain you these skill points, and there's 4 different types of skills, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but the colors are red, green, yellow, and blue. And you need to have a certain amount of, like, to be able to open up, like in Mass Effect, if you have a high enough score in something, you open up more conversation options. So in this one, it's basically the same concept, where once you've accumulated enough points and then you apply those points to, let's say, hacker, then you can have the hacker options when you do the conversations or whatever.
I shall hack you.
But the interesting thing is that the way I somehow played the game, I basically had a lot of blue and a lot of yellow. But the unfortunate thing is that most of the game highly depends on green and red. So I have to get lucky, because when I'm playing a game, I'm trying to play it as if it was me. I'm not trying to be like, okay, strategically speaking, if I choose this option, am I going to be able to get an additional skill point in this category? I don't play like that. That would drive me fucking nuts. That would take me out of the game. Like, I want to be able to fluidly choose the options. And whatever. Whatever, man. But yeah. It's a good game. I was actually a little surprised that I beat it before coming on the show. I did put in. Of course, I should have looked this up before actually. I put in. Oh shit! I beat the game in just over 9 hours.
Oh, it's not too bad.
No, I thought I put a lot more time into it. It felt like a lot more time, but apparently not so much.
How many hours does it take to beat a game?
I don't know. I've put, let's see, that Warhammer 40K, I've put 11 hours in. That game Eastward I was talking about that I completed, I put 21 hours in. Ni no Kuni, I ended up with 61 hours. Scarlet Nexus was 36 hours. That game Vampire that I played, 35 hours. You know. And if you really want to go crazy, if Mass Effect Legendary Edition, that's Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, was over 113 hours. But that's divided by 3. So that would be 113 divided by 3. So that's basically 37 hours per game, which is standard, I think. I like to think, at least. I don't know.
What if you don't think?
However, if you want to talk about games I put some time into, Borderlands 3, I put 147 hours in.
How many?
147.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
I just love to shoot the bad guys. Well, shit, I put 130 into Cyberpunk 2077.
We all like to shoot people in the face.
A great game, Disco Elysium, I put 32, almost 33 hours into.
Nice.
And then I put... Oh, shit. Did I actually play... Yeah. I put 44 hours into Hades on the PC, but that's not where I played... That's not where I really played Hades. I played Hades on the Switch. So 44 hours... Basically, I guess you could just say on my alt account.
Nice. So, did you prefer it on the PC or the Switch then?
I think it worked on both. I mean, I think that it was just, I liked it on the Switch simply because I could, if, push came to shove, I could pick it up and go somewhere and still be able to play it. Where I couldn't if I was, connected to my PC. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Holy ballsack.
Yeah.
The game, Slay the Spire. I just looked at how many hours I put into that.
482.
267.
Okay, there you go.
That might be the most I've ever put into a game on whatever this thing is, Steam.
What about what's that game?
I put 100 hours in Smite.
No, really? That's all? I would thought it'd been more. No, shoot, that FPS game that we liked.
Hold on.
That we can't play anymore.
I put 200 in on Paladins.
Okay.
FPS game that we can't play anymore. By who?
Shoot, from the stupid TV series.
Oh, right. I don't think. Let me see. Was that Defiance? Wasn't through the Steam store.
There we go.
It went through the Steam store, so I don't know. But I put a shit ton of time in that one.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. I put a shit ton of time in that one. Actually, we'll just speed this up and go through my Steam library and look for RPGs. 9, 11, 21, 61, 36. Some games I've never played. 20 hours in a Moonlighter, which is that game still makes my skin crawl simply because of the terrible inventory management.
So my top is on Steam is Team Fortress 2 at 372 hours.
Is there a way to sort by amount of time played? I don't think there is. I wish there was.
No.
Because that would be awesome. Because I'd like to see.
Yeah, that is kind of lame. Oh, even you could like export into like an Excel or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
It'd be cool.
What the hell just. Oh, whoops. I accidentally clicked on soundtracks. I was like, why is it giving me a list and not the time I've played the game? What is going on? Yeah, a lot of these games are it's very deceiving the amount of time I put in because I played on other systems. What the fuck is that? And how did I put 102 hours into it? I have no recollection of this game. I must have accidentally left the game running or something.
Nice. What game?
A game called The Sentient. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know.
The world may never know.
Who knows? I do love, like, I look at some of these games like, you played 1 minute.
Oh, no. September. So Civ 6.
Oh, yeah. How much time you put in a Civ game?
Well, number 6 is on sale for 85% off.
Uh-oh. Zelius, step away.
Damn it.
Oh, boy.
Like, do I just need it so I have it?
Oh, man.
Is that how it works with Steam?
Oh, God, it's a question I don't know the answer to. Oh, God. Holy shit. The game Blackguard, I put almost 55 hours into.
Yeah.
That's been a long time ago. The Witcher 2, I put almost 37 hours into.
Oh, there we go. So let's see here. Civ 5 was 108 hours.
There you go.
I don't think I have. I think that's really the only Civ I have on this computer or on Steam, because Civ 2 and 3, I don't. Are they on here? Let me see my library. Civ. Oh, interesting. Nope, nothing on here. Yeah. I like it. It's like sometimes you pull up a game, it's like, nope, doubt, 9 minutes. How many hours did I put into? I put 36 into Last Epoch lately.
See, I've got a bunch of games that I played like on other consoles, but I was like, oh man, they've got this. I'll get it.
I hear that, yo. 25 hours with Path of Exile.
There you go.
5 hours for Paladins.
Nice. I apparently have Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, which, by the way, they removed the Confederate flag out of.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's like Smite on here, I have 0 hours, even though I know I've played it.
Well, because it wasn't always with Steam.
Yeah, it was the other.
It had its own.
Yep.
The only Civilization I apparently played through Steam was Civ 5, and I only played 3 hours.
Ooh, 22 hours for Global Agenda.
Oh, Global Agenda. Let me see how many I did on that one. Global Agenda. How many did you say?
I have 22.
35 and a half.
That was
Boom!
such that was the perfect kind of game for me. It was like that FPS kind of sort of with like
Did you
those
ever play
nice
Firefall?
what?
Did you ever
Yeah,
play the game Firefall?
yeah.
How much time you got on that one?
Was that through Steam?
Yeah.
I don't have it on Steam, but I remember playing it. I thought that was its own like beta launcher.
It maybe had a beta launcher, but it was, let's see, 2014. I played 7 hours through Steam.
No, I definitely remember playing that in beta with you. No, I love the idea of Global Agenda, like those little self-contained PvE missions, and like I thought it was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the crap? Oh no, I forgot the damn name of the game. Whatever.
Oh yeah, well, I gotta go. I gotta get some stuff ready
All
for
right, good sir.
robotics competition on Saturday.
You have fun, sir.
Let me know about next weekend in terms of
Gaming.
yeah, and
I'll keep you in the loop, man. I'll keep you in the loop.
yeah, in terms of what's going on, and you know how it is.
Yeah, man.
Audio.